to Dentists Behaving Badly. I'm Dr. Tony, a dentist who has been in practice for over 20 years. I'm selecting articles from the internet of instances of dentists who have made the news for acting up and others who have found themselves in bad situations. Sometimes good intentions turn into something bad. Other times, the intentions were bad from the beginning. The link to the story can be found in the description box. This story was found on WKRG News 5, Pensacola, Florida, January 27, 2023. Embattled Pensacola dentist sentenced to another 8 months in prison. Embattled Pensacola dentist C.S. was sentenced to another 8 months in prison for battery charges on Friday afternoon. During the trial on Friday, the judge heard from victims who alleged they were touched inappropriately by the dentist, witnesses who spoke in favor of the dentist, and she heard from the dentist himself. The first victim told the court she is unsure if she will ever trust another healthcare provider again. I felt violated in a situation where I should have felt comfortable and taken care of, the victim said. I'm afraid I won't be able to trust another healthcare provider in the same way I was able to prior to this incident. I will always do further research before scheduling an appointment for myself or my children. But I also feel worried about my grandparents and other people who don't have internet access. They won't be able to have the same privilege of doing the research before seeing a doctor. Since her incident, the victim said she has seen the dentist in public, which she says makes her feel nauseous and anxious. I had to pack up my family and leave an event because he had shown up, the victim said. I had been out to eat with my children when the dentist has walked into the restaurant, and it instantly ruins the time I'm spending with my children. He has publicly shown off his ankle monitor at my dad's place of work. He has continued to show zero remorse for anything he has done. He has shown that he thinks he is above the law and has shown that he cannot follow simple orders to not leave the area. I fully believe he needs a mental health evaluation and therapy as part of his sentence. Another victim in the case said she has lost part of herself after an incident with the dentist. I haven't been able to look at my body anymore, the victim said. I've gained 10 pounds. I was violated that day, and it's like it turned off a switch and I disassociated from myself in a way. Weeks after it happened, I stayed isolated in my room. I felt gross. Even when my mom tried to hug me or when my boyfriend tried to cuddle with me, I still have a hard time being touched. I also developed super embarrassing panic attacks. I don't sleep very well at night, and when I do, I have nightmares. Not only is she the one affected, but she says it has also affected everyone around her. My mother is the one who wakes me up when I'm screaming, the victim said. My father, stepfather, and boyfriend are supportive, and they have put their feelings of anger and guilt of not being able to protect me away, but they still have those feelings. The dentist took the stand, telling the judge he is humiliated and sorry. He mentioned several times doctors should wear body cameras while practicing, and if he could go back, he would do the same. If I could have had a body camera on my jacket, I would recommend every doctor in the country to wear one, the dentist said, because there are certain things you have to do in dentistry. I think some things got out of hand. He told the judge not to worry about him doing anything because he will always have a body camera on. I'm not a creeper, the dentist said. I am very happy with my life outside the dental office. The dentist argued there are patients out there that he practiced on that will still need work done, and he said he doesn't want them to accrue cost on the work that he can finish. I promise I will go from the office, home to the office, and nowhere else, the dentist said. It's a responsibility that I have, and I would hate for someone to go out and accrue expenses that I could easily handle and haven't been able to finish. I'm very tired and I want to get on with my life. Regarding the allegations, the dentist told the judge it was all a miscommunication. I think people can interpret certain things differently, the dentist said. I'm saying as a dentist, I'm not trying to do dentistry for that type of thing. As a dentist, I try to keep people's mind off of what we're doing. It's not going where they say it's going. I do talk a lot, and you are working over somebody when you're working. Maybe people feel a certain way, but it certainly wasn't intentional. The dentist's wife testified on his behalf, and she said, "He's a very caring man." He told the judge the practice was very busy and always had open doors. He didn't have time to do what they said he did. She said, "I know he didn't do this." She said her husband loves life and is always positive. "He wants the best for everybody," she said. "He gives compliments to males. He gives compliments to females. It's just who he is." Though she said she hadn't had the chance to talk with her husband, she said moving forward, there will be no dentistry in their life anymore. "We are looking forward to spending time together as husband and wife," she said. She then quoted 2 Corinthians 13. "This is the third time I am coming to you. In the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses shall every word be established." "We have no witnesses that have seen anything," she said. "We have had our staff come here, saw nothing, heard nothing. Patients that day in the waiting room saw nothing and heard nothing. It's his word against her word. There's no proof." Prosecution argued the allegations had nothing to do with dentistry. These aren't something that was okay, let me repeat this. These aren't something that was simply misconstrued. Dental work performed correctly, misinterpreted by the victims, an attorney for the state's attorney's office says. This was an individual, and several victims testified, in a position of power and abusing that power, taking advantage of his patients. They could have written that differently. Anyway, earlier this month, the dentist was arrested again on perjury charges. According to court documents filed on January 3rd, the dentist failed to comply with his pretrial release agreement, which did not allow him to leave Escambia, Santa Rosa, or Okaloosa counties except to travel to see attorneys in Tallahassee within 48 hours notice given to pretrial release. The judge said the dentist told the court he had to leave the state of Florida because of an emergency with his son, but she said he actually went to Mobile to buy a luxury car. "I'm having a hard time figuring out if you were not able to comply while you had a monitor on. You've given me no implication that you're going to comply with the terms of probation that I could give you," the judge said. "I don't believe probation is going to be appropriate in your case." The judge sentenced the dentist to serve 60 days in jail for each of the 4 battery charges. The dentist still has another felony charge for allegedly touching a patient over the age of 65. He will be back in court for this charge in March. Okay, so there was a lot going on with this dentist, so I needed to find a little bit more of a backstory. On the same news website, WKRG News 5, I found an article dated in October 2022 giving some background information. After being arrested 4 times in 2022 for allegedly sexually assaulting several different victims, a Pensacola's dentist trial will begin on Monday. On May 25th, deputies with the Escambia County Sheriff's Office responded to a sexual battery complaint by one of the dentist's employees. The victim said in the arrest report she was having trouble with one of the tools and asked the dentist to show her how the tool works. The victim said the dentist commented on how the tool goes in and out and said he is very good at going in and out. The victim said soon after the dentist grabbed her by the arm, hit her on the butt with an open hand, and then hugged her. The next day, the victim said she was helping clean the bathroom when the dentist walked in the bathroom, shut the door, hugged her from behind, and kissed her on the back of the head. On May 31st, deputies said they responded to another sexual battery complaint by a patient of the dentist. The victim said on December 16, 2020, while visiting the dentist inappropriately patted her breast multiple times while she was laying on the table for a dental procedure. The victim said she knew it was not accidental because of the amount of times the dentist patted it, coupled with his weird compliment of her physical appearance. Also on May 31st, deputies responded to another sexual battery complaint by another patient of the dentist. The victim said on May 18th she had a follow-up appointment with the dentist. Out of nowhere, the victim said the dentist started asking her several personal questions, such as if she was still dating her neighbor and how does she satisfy herself. The victim said the dentist said he could satisfy her and he was like a god. During the questions, the victim said the dentist would rub the victim's face and her lips and would rub his body up against hers and make moaning noises. The last time he was arrested in 2022 was July 21st, according to arrest reports. Deputies said they made contact with the victim, who said she was a patient of the dentist and he would sometimes kiss her on the forehead and tell her how beautiful she was. The victim said occasionally the dentist would touch her cheek with his hands while kissing her forehead and say he would fix her. The victim said another time the dentist grabbed her breasts with his hand and smashed them together while she was in the dental chair. When asked why she continued to see the dentist, the victim said she was making monthly payments of $2,000 for her dental work and she felt she had to continue seeing the dentist because of these payments. Deputies say they ran a records check on the dentist and found 17 battery reports that had been filed from various women since May 2022. The Florida State Surgeon General issued an emergency order prohibiting the dentist from practicing on females. Goodness gracious. On June 23rd, after hearing all of the allegations, the Florida State Surgeon General ordered the emergency restriction of the dental license of the dentist, allowing him only to perform dental work on males. They may not be safe either. According to Florida Statute 456-.073, the State Surgeon General has the authority to summarily restrict the dentist's dental license in accordance with Section 120.66 Florida statutes. The order says the dentist received his license to practice in Florida in 1984 and had previously had his license revoked by the Georgia Board of Dentistry in or about 1995. The order said he did not report the revocation to the Florida Board of Dentistry. In 2003, the dentist was arrested on battery charges by the Escambia County Sheriff's Office, interviewed 6 employees who all confirmed that the allegations were probably true because the dentist passed contact with them and other patients. Now, his wife got up there and told this whole story about that they never heard anything. And there it is in 2003. Anyway, dental patients are placed in a vulnerable position when receiving care from their dental provider. When receiving care, dental patients lay down in a confined space while their provider is in close proximity. This positioning leaves patients subject to abuse that is easy to conceal from others. Due to the potential for abuse that is inherent under these circumstances, dentists must possess good judgment and good moral character in order to safely practice dentistry, and must refrain from placing their patients in situations that violate their safety and welfare. The dentist has exhibited a pattern of increasingly predatory and sexually aggressive behavior. The dentist has willfully abused his position as a dentist to sexually violate patients who trusted him to act professionally and within the boundaries of generally accepted treatment. The dentist's deviant actions demonstrate he possesses a significant danger to the female patients. He definitely is deviant and poses significant danger to female patients. It's also said that the dentist employees are already aware of his deviant behavior and this has not hindered him from his inappropriate conduct. Therefore, nothing short of the immediate restriction of the dentist's license to practice as a dentist on female patients in the state of Florida will protect the public from the dangers created by the dentist's continued unrestricted practice of dentistry. As of August 13th, the dentist's license shows active with an emergency restriction on the Florida Department of Health's website. The trial for several counts of sexual battery against the dentist begins on Monday, August 17th, with jury selection beginning at 8:30 a.m. He appeared in court on October 13th for his final plea, but according to the Escambia County Clerk of Court, his final plea was reset. They said the jury selection is still scheduled for Monday. Kudos to these women for having the courage to stand up for themselves. Unfortunately, I've encountered a couple of dentists who feel that their job is their personal playground. I've seen some who are dating their hygienist, sleeping with their assistant, and have a wife at home. They have all of this, and they're still flirting with patients. They're like spreading it wide and spreading it low. It is disgusting on so many levels. This dentist has been moving like this for a long time, and everyone knows or knew about it. His wife absolutely knew and knew for years. We as colleagues and staff, we always whisper about it because we know. We try to help each other. Some of us try to protect each other, but it still has been happening. And we overlook it because it's such a common behavior. And these dentists, they don't even try to hide it. The ones that I've met and encountered, and it's not just one or two, it's many. It's very common. They don't try to hide it. It's just almost like an entitlement. But I'm glad that these women took the time to stand up for what's right and not take it. So maybe Me Too is coming to dentistry, and it needed to happen. Most dentists endeavor daily to use their skills, talents, and social standing as doctors to provide outstanding care to their patients and serve as role models in the community. A small group of others allow entitlement, greed, and personal proclivities to overshadow their responsibility to their patients, the profession, and society. Thanks again for watching. Take care.